is a yoga mat, or you can just also clear some space if you don't have a mat. I will be showing the use of some yoga blocks. They're totally optional. They're optional for every class. If you don't have yoga blocks, you could sub in a rolled up towel, rolled up blanket, or maybe some pillows. But again, totally optional, so you decide what works best for your practice. As you get your space set up, I've got 2 quick announcements for you. We have our first educational webinar happening on the 23rd of January. This is going to be all about the different benefits you have as fitness center members. And then starting on really the 21st, we're going to be rolling out our first wellness program of the year called Level Up. So this is a really great, well-rounded program. We'll talk a little bit about fitness, overall wellness, as well as nutrition. So check that out if you're looking for a way just to kind of start your year off strong. All right, let's get into it. We're going to begin today in child's pose. And if you're just joining, all you need is a yoga mat or some open space. If you have yoga blocks, you're welcome to grab those. If you don't have them, but you'd like some support, you could grab maybe a blanket or a towel to roll up. And then you're going to meet me down in child's pose. So for child's pose, if you haven't been here before, go ahead and walk your knees as wide as your mat, and then bring your big toes to touch. Push your hips back towards your heels, and then you're going to walk your hands out in front to find some length through your chest and your arms. If you'd like to add some support, you could place your props under your chest if you'd like, or maybe one beneath your chest, one beneath your forehead. So anytime we use a prop, most of the time at least, if we're using it for support, it's really to bring the ground just a little bit closer. Or in this case, you could also find a deeper stretch using your props. If you place them beneath your hands, you can find a deeper stretch through the front of your chest and into your shoulders. So find your child's pose. And when you land there, if it's comfortable for you, I invite you to close your eyes. I see some more names hopping in. Welcome, everyone. Welcome back. My name is Brooke, if we haven't met yet. And again, this is your 20-minute power yoga. So if you're new to yoga, this is a great intro. We will be including chaturanga and vinyasa in this practice. And if you're not familiar with that, don't worry, we're going to break it down a little bit more today and probably through January. But as with any of our Keep Fit classes, make sure you're listening to your body. Just remember that anything I offer is just a suggestion, just to really get you going. So any changes, modifications, progressions that feel right, you're always welcome to take that and make this practice yours. Start to bring your awareness to your breath. And just notice how you're showing up this morning. And your breath might be a reflection of how you're feeling, or maybe how you slept last night, maybe anything you have going on up to this point in your day. Try and let all of that go. Bring that awareness to the flow of breath in and out. Listen to the sound. Feel your chest, maybe your belly rise. On your next inhale, try and breathe in a little bit more deeply, so much so that your lungs expand laterally, right? So you feel your rib cage expand a little bit more. And see if you can press all the air out of your mouth. Get active through your core as you assist and press all the breath out. Okay, try one more of those. Big breath in through your nose. Open your mouth and sigh it out. From there, close your lips and direct your breath in and out of your nose. Begin to flutter your eyes open and slowly lift your head away from your mat. Inhale through your nose, look between your hands. Exhale through your nose, start to lift up into tabletop, and you can take your time here. If you're on blocks, go ahead and bring your hands back to your mat. Bring your hands, your wrists under your shoulders and your knees under your hips. For this class, if being on your knees is really uncomfortable, I know that can be common. A great tip here is either roll up a towel or blanket or just take your mat and roll it up a couple times and place that part underneath your knees. Spread your fingertips really wide. Allow the tops of your feet to rest heavy onto your mat. Inhale, pull your chest through. So kind of think of almost sliding your mat out from underneath you with your hands as if you were going to drag your hands back without actually moving them. But root down into them so that you can pull your chest through. And as you do this, try and keep your arms straight. On your exhale, we'll come into cat pose. You'll round your spine, keep your arms straight and bring your chin towards your chest. Breathe in, return to that cow pose. So pull your chest through, arch your back, try and find some length through your spine. Exhale, round, create space between your shoulder blades. One more time, breathe in. Breathe out. Come back to neutral spine. So kind of an in-between of cat and cow. We've got some engagement through the core. Send your right leg long behind you. Try and keep your ankle, your foot in line with your hip. So if your leg is really high, try and take it down, or vice versa if it's low. See if you can find a straight line from your shoulders all the way through your ankle. Right leg is lifted. Extend your left arm forward. Your thumb points up towards the ceiling. Squeeze your core in tight. So this is an active pose. I want you to notice if your right hip rolls open at all and try and bring it back so that it's in line with your left hip. Full breath in, reach. On your exhale, bring your knee to your elbow. So crunch beneath your body, get your core even more active. Inhale, extend out, trying to keep that long line. Exhale, knee to elbow. One more time, breathe in. Breathe out. Tabletop, release your hand, release your knee, and then set up for the other side. Left leg goes back, same setup on this side. Straight line. Flex your ankles so your toe points down. That's going to help prevent your hip from rolling open. Extend your right arm forward, thumb points up. Engage your core. So a great tip here, if you feel like you're getting a stretch through your core, you're likely not engaged there. So hug your core in, tuck your hips slightly under. Inhale, length. Exhale, knee to elbow. Breathe in. Breathe out. One more time, inhale. Exhale. Tabletop. Stack your joints. This time, tuck your toes. Can rock forward a couple times if that feels nice through your feet. And then return so that your shoulders are over your wrists, but keep your toes tucked. Hug your core in, so extra tight here. Pull your belly button in towards your spine, but continue to breathe. Hover your knees off your mat. We're going to hold for 5 breaths. If you need to tap the knees down and reset, feel free to do so. If you'd like to build a little bit more heat, you can hover your right foot off the mat for a breath, and then you'll switch, hover your left foot off the mat. But keep that stability, try not to rock side to side. Breathe for 2. Nice job. Straighten your legs, find downward facing dog. Feel free to move around here. Walk your hands maybe a little bit more in front of where they are. Pedal your legs out. Shake your head, yes or no. Continue to breathe in and out of your nose. Start to straighten your legs as much as you can to lift your hips high. Press your chest towards your thighs. And then as much as you can, allow your heels to get heavy towards your mat. They don't have to touch, but just let them get heavy. Take a full breath in. Full breath out. Inhale, look between your palms. Exhale, use your core to roll forward. I want you to find a high plank. Now you might find your heels are kind of like mine, where they're pressing towards the mat. If you're in that shape, I want you to wiggle your toes back so that your heels are over your toes. So now we've got shoulders over wrists, heels over toes. If you'd like to modify, knees come to the mat. Hug your core in tight and then engage your glutes. Don't forget about them. It's going to protect our spine. So this is going to be our breakdown of Vinyasa. You'll see this come up quite a bit in our power yoga class. Take a deep breath in. On this first one, lower to your knees if you haven't already. Untuck your toes. And then we're going to move through chaturanga. So elbows are tight to the rib cage, not out to the side. Lower all the way down to your mat. Inhale, push into the tops of your feet. So make that connection. Squeeze your mid back and then lift your chest away from the mat. Baby cobra. Exhale, tap your forehead down. Inhale, this time push into your hands if you'd like. You're going to straighten your arms and pull your chest through. Notice the tops of the feet are still connected with the floor. Knees and legs are actually hovered off the mat. This is your upward facing dog. Exhale, use your core to lift up and back, downward facing dog. Let's go through that again. This time we're just going to use one back bend. You can choose which variation you'd like. So breathe in, look forward. Exhale, roll high plank. Stay here, lower to your knees. On your exhale, lower all the way or halfway your chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra, you choose. Exhale, up and back, downward facing dog. Good, we'll start to build our flow here to give you an idea of what that's going to look like. Inhale, lift your right leg high. Exhale, step your foot between your hands. Now, if it doesn't quite reach, that's okay. Your foot might land back here. Use your hand to help assist your leg forward. If you feel more comfortable, you can take blocks underneath your hands to bring the ground a little bit closer here. Root down into your right foot, squeeze your core in tight. Inhale, draw your arms up high for crescent lunge. At any point in our shapes here, if having your back knee down feels more comfortable, for more support, you can feel free to move to that variation. So arms are overhead. We're really active through the whole body here, our legs, our core, our arms. Try and relax your shoulders a little bit away from your ears. Full breath in. As you breathe out, I want you to spin your back foot down, so your left foot in this case, and then extend your arms out long for warrior two. Your front knee, so your right knee, a lot of times what can happen, you can stay where you are. I'm just going to show you from this angle. What can happen is the knee wants to dip in, right? So the knee will look like this from the front. I want you to press into an imaginary wall to keep your knee in line with your hip and your ankle. If you'd like, sink a little bit lower into your lunge, but keep your left foot glued to the ground. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, connect your right forearm to your right thigh, and then sweep your left arm up and over your ear. Try not to have it come forward. I want you to stack your shoulders as much as you can. Pull your shoulder blades together. You can stay right here, or if you'd like to build, you can take your left arm to your low back for a half bind. Further, you can take your right arm beneath your thigh, and again, these are all optional. This will be your full bind. So 3 variations there. You choose what feels best. This is your extended side angle. One more breath. If you have the bind, start to release. And then on your inhale, take your left hand. You're going to draw it down your left leg and then sweep your right arm up and over for reverse warrior. Now, sometimes in this shape, our quad can start to get really tired. Feel free to give it a break, straighten it out for a minute, and then come back to your lunge. Same half bind option is here. Left arm goes to your low back, and you're going to kind of reach your fingertips towards your hip. Push into both of your feet, sink a little bit lower if you'd like. Breathe in. On your exhale, cartwheel your hands to your mat. Here's your option for vinyasa. So you can take it or you can skip it and meet in downward facing dog. Inhale in your back bend. Exhale, downward facing dog. Same flow on the left side. Breathe in and lift your left leg. Exhale, step your foot between your hands. Inhale, root into your feet, and then rise. Reach your arms high overhead, crescent lunge. Breathe in. Sink a little bit lower if you'd like on your exhale. Relax your shoulders. Keep your core engaged. So think back to your cat and your cow. I want you to find that middle ground. Breathe in. Exhale, spin your back foot down. Find your warrior two. Arms go out wide. Root down into both of your feet. And in this shape, really important to root down into the outer edge of your back foot, so your pinky toe edge. What can happen here is we might collapse into the arch of the foot, but that's not good for our knee or our hip. So we really want to find that full placement of the foot on the mat. Breathe in, lengthen your spine like there's a string from the crown of your head. And then exhale, connect your left arm to your thigh now. Right arm goes up and over for extended side angle. Same 3 variations. You could try half bind. You could try full bind, or stay where you are. Chest stays open wherever. So if you move into a bind, make sure you're not rounding like this and facing the ground. I want you to stack your shoulders, just like we set up here. We want to mimic that. Deepen your breath. Good. If you have the bind, start to release. On your next inhale, your right arm is going to go back. Your left arm goes high. If you can keep the bend in your knee, keep it. If you need a break, go for it. Just like in Warrior 2, notice if you collapse into that arch of your left foot now, right? Root back, push into that imaginary wall. Full breath in, reach your left hand back towards the wall behind you. Exhale, cartwheel your hands to your mat. Option for Vinyasa. Inhale, lift your heart. Exhale, downward facing dog. We'll move through that again. This time, one breath, one movement, so it's going to be faster. Inhale, lift your right leg high. Exhale, step between your hands. Inhale, root and rise, crescent lunge. Here's where we speed it up. Exhale, open, Warrior 2. Inhale, length. Exhale, connect, extended side angle. Breathe in, reverse your warrior. Keep the lunge if you can this round. Exhale, cartwheel your hands to your mat. Vinyasa if you'd like, or downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your heart. Exhale, downward facing dog. Last time, inhale, lift your left leg. Exhale, step. Breathe in and rise. Breathe out and open. Inhale, length. Exhale, connect, excuse me. Breathe in, reverse your warrior. Stay low in that lunge. Exhale, final vinyasa. High to low you go. Breathe in. Breathe out. Pause in your downward facing dog. Lift your right leg high. This time, step your foot to the outside edge of your mat. Release your left knee. Untuck your left toes. If you'd like to use a block, or blocks, I should say, you can place them beneath your hands. Or you can also lower down onto your forearms for a deeper stretch if you connect to the mat or onto your blocks. This is your lizard lunge or runner's lunge. Got a lot of names. Those are the 2 you'll hear from me though. So I like to end these classes with some hip openers. After we've been warmed up, you can feel really nice. In this shape, if you'd like to go a little bit deeper and to get a quad stretch in your left leg, I like to come up to my hands first. Blocks or no blocks, it doesn't matter. Your left hand is going to stay down. Your right hand is going to travel to your right side, and you're going to start to twist to look over your shoulder. Sometimes this can feel like enough, or if you like to take it further, you're going to actually bend your left knee and then reach for the top of your left foot. Similar to our extended side angle where we had the chest open, same rule here. So sometimes we might round to try and really get that connection. I'd rather you not make that connection. I'd rather you open through the chest and maybe just reach towards your foot rather than actually connect. Go ahead and release if you have it. Slide your blocks out of the way. Step your left knee back or your right knee back to meet your left. You can go through down dog, or you can transition right from here. Step your left foot to the outside edge. Right knee stays down. Runner's lunge on this side. So in both of my yoga classes that I teach on CubeFit, traditionally in yoga, you'll have time for rest or shavasana at the end. Sometimes in class, we might have a minute or so for that. But for a lot of our flows, since they're pretty quick, 20 minutes, I don't always leave time for that. So it's up to you. You can always carve out some extra minutes afterwards if you'd like. Feel free to lower down or start to build your twist. Wherever you've landed, find a full breath in and out. Go ahead and release. Step your left knee back to meet your right. And then either cross your legs and sit back into an easy seat, or you can just sit back onto your heels if that feels comfortable. Go ahead and bring your hands to heart center, and then close your eyes down. Take a moment to connect back with your breath and back with your body. Notice how you feel now versus the start of our practice. And if this was something totally new for you, amazing job sticking with it and trying something new. I know that can be a little bit scary, but I promise as you move through these and become consistent, it can feel really good. It's a great way. It's a great way to step away from your desk. Great way to just bring some clarity and breath. Thank you all so much for joining me today. I look forward to practicing with you again, hopefully very soon. Namaste. Have a wonderful rest of your day, everybody. Let me know if you have questions about any of the poses we did today, any of our classes, or any of the programs we have going on. And I'll see you soon.
Thank you.
You're welcome.